I've come a long way for this one, to one of the largest, southernmost cities in the world. For the entire time that just I've been alive, Buenos Aires and Argentina have suffered under an oppressive and brutal military dictatorship or faced one massive economic meltdown after the other. The international profile of this city is tango, football, Latin lifestyle, a South American city with a European feel. But what about the porteños, the nickname for the citizens of Buenos Aires? How do they roll with it? These politics, economics, and growing social inequality. What's it like to struggle to build a more life-size city when you're constantly having to reboot, regroup, take a deep breath, and start all over again? Plagued by political and economic crises, Argentina's been down on its luck, to say the least, for quite a while now. Its capital, Buenos Aires, has managed to stay on its feet and remains the epicenter of the nation's economy. Unfortunately, not everyone shares in the wealth. Austerity measures have hit the lower and middle classes, and citizens, the porteños, are desperately seeking alternative ways to renew their multifaceted metropolis. So, what gives? On the one hand, Buenos Aires has a reputation for multiculturalism that gives every neighborhood a sense of vitality. On the other, it's facing some serious urban challenges that almost make it seem a bit run down. Challenges the people have no choice but to tackle head on every single day to make their city more life-sized.
I like to think of Buenos Aires as a very rebel city. Mm-hmm. It has a long tradition of social mobilizations and basically fighting for rights, better housing, education, better salaries. So we are always going to the streets. Mm-hmm. Whenever you go, any day in Buenos Aires, you may find somebody protesting.
Architect, urbanist, activist. Guadalupe knows what it means to put up a fight. And the neighborhood of La Boca has a long history of protest in this city. This is where the first wave of Italian immigrants arrived in the early 20th century. The Italian workers set up unions. Employers neglected their rights. The workers retaliated. Conditions improved, sure, but not without, you guessed it, a good fight. Man, the art of protest is simply imprinted on this city's DNA.
We're always looking for better conditions in everything. It is not based on the individual situation rather than on the collective sense that somebody might be worse than you are.
What are the primary challenges that Buenos Aires faces that gets people out on the streets?
We have a major issue with the real estate market and how it is developing and the concentration of lands. Land prices are going up, are rising at a dramatic pace. For example, here in La Boca, what we see is that corporations, big developers are buying properties to turn them into art galleries or restaurants or bars. So basically the population that live in the neighborhood are being displaced. When you displace the people, what you are doing is that the city is losing its spirit, it's losing its identity, it's losing its DNA. So the more you make it attractive for foreign capitals, the more you are losing the identity that made it interesting in the first place.
La Boca exemplifies this dilemma. This working-class neighborhood, with its colorful houses and welcoming vibes, has become, yep, a popular tourist district. And like elsewhere in the world, investors are doing their bit to make it even more popular. The problem? As money flows in, residents are pushed out.
There are going on a lot of evictions, around like 3 evictions per week. Evictions are getting more and more violent every time. The right to housing is what is at stake. People are trying to fight back for their places to live in. So we have a lot of organizations that are proposing alternative public policies that are trying to work with the government to develop better public policies in terms of access to housing through ownership or through rental. A middle-income family, like a professional young couple, may have to face a rental that is over 50% or even 60% of their monthly income.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. To protect residents, citizens in and outside La Boca are mobilizing to fight the mass evictions through legal action and good old-fashioned protest. You can try to take the porteños out of the fight, but you can never take the fight out of the porteños. You're telling me about the struggles that you're facing, but the narrative is also like over 100 years, right?
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
Where's the light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, what I try to think is that if it hadn't been so many resistance and struggles, things would have been much worse. It's a constant cycle. I mean, we haven't reached a quality of life in the city where you will say, okay, now we can sit and rest.
So you're optimistic about the future of the city?
Yes, I am. I
Get
am
out.
optimistic. I would say I am a pessimistic with information.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
A pessimist with information.
Yes. Yeah, but we are optimistic all in all because that's why we are fighting still. So, yes, I do think things could get better. I do believe in our power and our historical power to fight for better conditions. So yes, we are going to push it a little more.
As I've seen in many other cities in the world, social inequality is on the rise here in Buenos Aires. The wealthiest 10% earn almost 17 times more per year than the bottom 10%. Now, to give you some context, in Canada, it's only 8.6 times higher. But there are things that can be done on a smaller scale to help bridge the gap for low-income citizens. Simple things like sharing and saving basic resources.
This is the cafeteria they actually serve for a very large company here, a multinational company in Buenos Aires. We contact them and say, well, we know in large companies like yours, more or less, 10%, 5% of the food that's prepared, it's not consumed, and what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually we have to throw it away because no one will eat. So we presented ourselves as a possibility to be like a bridge between the people who would need this food and the people who don't eat it.
What began as a group of friends trying to do some good has evolved into Plato Lleno, an organization managing some 200 volunteers who carry out over 70 food rescues each year. How cool is that? And it's simple. Plato Lleno collects uneaten food from across the city and uses that food to feed the less fortunate. They're kind of like the Robin Hood of food waste, except without the stealing part. We're headed to a community center where these leftovers will be turned into nutritious meals for kids living in this low-income area. And believe me, not a single slice of bread goes to waste. You know, you were taking the photos,
Yes.
and we're writing down the weight, but why do you go to such lengths to record?
Actually, because we believe that we need to be accountable for every single apple or every piece of food or money that everyone gives us, just because for us it's important for everyone to know the real impact of their actions.
Last month, 16 people rescued 40 tons of food. 40 tons of food.
4 times the people we have here
Yeah.
rescued this kind.
Okay, I mean, yeah, those numbers make a good point, huh?
Make a good point, and with pictures, make a very good point.
This is where the magic happens.
Tenemos, este es el comedor y tenemos la parte de atrás que es jardín comunitario también. Como es un barrio carenciado, se reciben a los chicos sin cobrar nada. Son voluntarias y cuidan durante el día, digamos, tienen 2 turnos a la mañana y a la tarde. En ese momento le damos el desayuno, el almuerzo en el jardín.
She has food from the government, like an amount of food, and then the other part is with donations, also with Plato Lleno. And well, they have volunteers who came here to cook, and the other part just came to eat.
Okay. Now, should you have doubts about the success of the operation, know this. In 2018, Plato Lleno saved, well, let's call it repurposed, more than 200 tons of food from catered events, office cafeterias, convention centers, and wholesalers across the city. They've already done it in 5 other cities in Latin America. Just wait till this really takes off. All you need are proactive citizens and a way to transport food.
We don't feel like this is charity. It's like we just wanted to everybody in the society get conscious about the food wasting. The food is important. It's not something that you can throw away. It's like the company. I said, you produce lots. You need to do something, and you are responsible for what you do. And we'll have the other people who need the food, and they can do something about it. Because what we do is just logistic. We don't do more than that. So we just need to organize. That's it.
You're working short term, maybe a little bit long term, but I mean, what is the ultimate goal? How are you going to scale it up? How are you going to push it even more?
No tenemos ninguna meta a futuro y nos encanta que las personas que se suman al proyecto también se sientan libres y que ellos puedan desde cualquier lugar contribuir a que haya más equidad, a que haya más respeto. Entonces, eso es lo que a nosotros estar en contacto con eso nos hace bien. Entonces, ya hoy es una meta en sí misma para nosotros.
We have this food, and if I throw this away, how do you feel?
That would be horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you spend time on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same thing we do like last month, like we feel grateful.
Like most cities in the world, Buenos Aires was bike-friendly for decades. But that was a couple of generations ago. So in recent years, Daniel Nazero was one of the only cyclists in town. Until 2010, that is, when the city finally started investing in bicycle mobility. Over 140 kilometers of bike lanes have been built, along with a popular bike share system. And it's working. Bike commuting went up 4% in just a few years. And Daniel just might help improve this number by giving people access to more bikes. His organization, La Rueda Popular, Wheels for the People, gives new life to old bikes before passing them on to citizens who can't afford them.
There exist many bikes abandoned, but many, thousands.
Yeah.
We receive bikes that people doesn't use anymore, and we repair it, we fix it, and then we give them to people that they don't have a bike.
Okay, that's really simple, right?
It's very simple.
Beautifully simple, right?
Very simple. Bicycle has like a special meaning for people, no? So
Yeah.
they don't throw it away easy. But if people knows this project, say, okay, I can give it there and another kid will use it. It's different. It's a wheel. That's why we call it popular wheel.
There you go. It's time to load up and introduce these bikes to their new owners. We're delivering them to a nearby low-income neighborhood. With help from community centers and NGOs, Daniel and his crew have given out 4,000 bikes in 4 years. It's a life-sized success story. Citizens delivering bikes to the next generation, thereby creating the future urban cycling population. This is my kind of fairy tale. ¿Quién quiere una bici? Muy bien, muy bien.
Everybody wants a bike.
Everybody wants a bike.
Nailin.
Hey.
Nailin.
So what other places do you deliver bikes to?
Many places. Argentina, we deliver bicycles in the middle of the jungle, like a rural school, or in Patagonia. If somebody needs a bicycle, well, we go.
You'll get the bike to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
It's also, for us, it's very important to give a bike to a kid because we see every day we see that the kids are always with the telephone, with the computer. They are like inside. It's like indoor generation. You understand?
Yeah.
So we are from another generation. We try to bring back the bike to the city. For us, it's important that kids connect with the city and with nature and each other. And bicycle is a good tool to do that. We also give bikes not only to the kids, to teachers, workers that they cannot pay transport in the city. So I think that bike is it's a very good tool for all that problems.
So for you, Danielle, what is a bicycle? Transport in a big city. What is the bicycle to you?
No, for me, bicycle is magic because bicycle is very noble. Bicycle is sport, it's fun, it's, I don't know how you call it, equilibrio. It's balance.
Balance, yeah.
You can dream in a bike, you can enjoy life in a bike. Bicycle, the bikes is magic for me.
At the end of a segment like this, I'm supposed to wrap it up with a little monologue about my experiences. I don't really think it's necessary here because you know what? Those kids say it all. Imagine having 49 kilometers of waterfront. What an amazing luxury for any city in the world. But here in Buenos Aires, there's an airport, there are highways, and most of that 49 kilometers, even worse, is privatized. There is very little public access to the river, the amazing river that defines the city. I think about Barcelona. They turned their back on the sea for decades, and then it opened up with the Olympics in 1992, and that transformed Barcelona into something spectacular. The same opportunity is right here for Buenos Aires, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Okay, I feel the need to be constructive here. While progress in bikeability and public transport is trending, there isn't much being done to discourage the use of cars. In fact, this city seems to be going out of its way to build more roads. And that is so last century. One of the big monster projects is called Paseo del Bajo. It's a 7-kilometer long link through the heart of the city. 12 lanes of traffic. Sure, 4 of them will be underground for trucks and buses, but it is absolutely bizarre to me. The city and the national government are trying to sell it with billboards saying, oh, it's going to be faster, oh, it's going to be safer, it's going to improve congestion like you'll never believe. Unfortunately, this has never happened anywhere in the world in the past 100 years. If you build more space for cars, more cars come. It's called induced demand. As we head to the outskirts of the city, I can't help but notice the affluent gated communities bordering rapidly expanding informal settlements. Here, the divide between the haves and the have-nots is glaringly evident. Pablo. Hey, how are you? Good, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
And you? All right, Pablo, give me a little bit of context. I know I'm about 40 kilometers away from Buenos Aires,
yes.
But what is this neighborhood? How would you describe this place?
This neighborhood is called Salas. It's a vulnerable neighborhood, and we're building solar collectors for families that do not have access to hot water, and we're building everything with reused materials. So, for example, plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and Tetra bricks. With all that, that is usually burned here, we're going to build a solar collector that is going to be giving hot water to the families 80% of the year.
This is you said a vulnerable neighborhood, very low income?
Yeah, low income.
Why don't they have hot water? Is it because there are no pipes out here, or they have no way of heating the water that they do have?
There are no water pipes.
Okay.
They are pumping the water from the ground. Usually they heat water with gas, and then they wash just with a jar. So they are not used to having a shower in their houses, and we're building exactly that for them.
Just like parts of Brazil, temperatures in Buenos Aires can hover around the freezing point in winter. So when Pablo and his friends saw someone in Brazil use homemade solar panels to heat things up, they decided to give it a try. And today, I'm helping them build 2 new hot water systems for local families in dire need of better amenities.
We're going to give it a shape to it, and we're going to put the pipe inside.
Right.
And that's going to absorb the irradiation. It's going to conduct it to the pipe. It's going to hit the pipe and hit the water.
So you're gonna stick it in like that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
We're going to do that.
All right. I mean, these cans here, I mean, this could also be their garbage.
Yes.
Right? And the plastic bottles and whatnot, right? So
Yes.
they're actually reusing what they're using, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if not, that's being burnt in the neighborhood. So imagine arriving to a neighborhood and telling them that this can is going to, instead of being burned, it's going to give them hot water. That's just crazy. At first, they don't believe you, but when they put their hand and the shower is hot, they just say thank you. All the way.
Yep. Here's how it works. Volunteers collect discarded material and learn how to build the solar heaters. The money raised through workshops and donations fund the water tanks and pipes. Before you know it, you're pumping hot water to the people who need it at a very low cost. Added bonus, the project encourages a respectable amount of recycling, and that is desperately needed here. In Argentina, only 30% of plastic bottles are recycled. Compare that to 70% in Canada, or 93.5% in Germany. The people here have their work cut out for them, but Pablo and his gang have jump-started a whole new process. So just painting a can with some matte
Yes.
black paint is going to heat up the water in there.
Yes, and that's crazy. And it's going to work during winter in Buenos Aires.
Yeah,
and
that is just so incredibly simple.
Yes. So we will go house by house, and usually when we will with one family, they're going to recommend it to another family that needs it, or to some friends, for example.
That's a community, right?
Yes.
Everybody talks, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one is going to do the greenhouse effect. So basically all the irradiation that is going to come here is going to stay. The next thing that we're going to do is put a second layer
the
of
second
bottle.
one here, right?
Yeah.
No, is there a second one there?
Yes,
Yeah.
this one is the second one.
Okay.
And we will have a small layer of air that is going to act as insulation.
Okay.
So it's on pretty cold days in Buenos Aires, it's going to still work, and it's going to keep the water for the family. So here, what we have is like the second layer of bottles.
Yeah.
Just put.
Oh, that's, I mean, just it's hot to touch,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Imagine inside the can, it's really, really hot. Go to the roof.
Hola, chicos.
Bueno. A ver, let's second. From the top of the solar collector, it's going to go directly through a pipe to the middle of the tank. And through the lower part of the tank, it's going to go to this pipe. And it's going to do the whole solar collector, and it's going to go up from the lower part of the solar collector, and it will start going up. Once it gets heated, it will go up because it gets less dense, basically.
Right.
That's how it works.
How many of these have you installed?
We have installed 154 till this day. Today we're adding 2 more.
2 more today?
Yes.
Okay, and another question is, I mean, how long does that last?
Well, we have built the first one till since 4 years, and it has been working. And we're waiting for it to work for at least 10 years.
The families who get these systems don't have to pay for anything, but they do have to help by collecting the material and working with the volunteers.
Permiso. Jacqueline.
How did you hear about the hot water system and this guy?
El barrio, mis hermanas, los vecinos.
Is this going to change your daily life, having this?
Sí, obviamente. Lo que estamos esperando es esto que nos hace bien porque es algo que nos va a ayudar en lo material, en todo, porque gastábamos mucha plata, gastábamos en olla, calentábamos agua en la cocina para bañarnos, tardábamos media hora, 1 hora calentando para bañarnos cada uno, perdíamos mucho tiempo, muchas cosas.
And are they going to tell other people in the neighborhood about it?
Les pregunta si les van a contar a más vecinos y a más conocidos sobre el colector solar.
Sí, todos se van a enterar y lo vamos a recomendar y vamos a hacer que traten.
Okay, but we have to see if it works first.
Dicen, tenemos que ver primero si funciona.
Hey, there it is.
And you can touch whatever you want.
Ow! Yeah, okay, actually that's actually hot, yeah, right. Damn.
It's really hot, and that's only with the sun's energy. That's really hot.
Totally hot. Well, that is so cool. You have it open source, So other people can run with it, but what's the vision, man?
Yes, we want Latin America to take it, to embrace this solar collector, and as well we want to build thousands of solar collectors in Argentina, and by that time we're not only going to be having an impact on the family's life, but we're going to be having a huge environmental impact, and that's what we are aiming for. Yes.
Housing is one of the most serious problems that Buenos Aires faces. Like many other cities in the world, they have informal settlements. We know them as shanty towns, slums, favelas. Here, they're called villa. I'm on a fault line, in a way, between the incredibly rich area behind me and the other end of the scale. And I'm going to meet a man from the city of Buenos Aires who's going to tell me how they're tackling this issue.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What you see over there, it's Puerto Madero. It's one of the richest neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. And where we are now is Rodrigo Bueno. It's one of the neighborhoods that has the most disadvantages nowadays. What happened here is that when that neighborhood was built, people who worked on those buildings, they started to settle here and they started to live here like 30 years ago. So they started building some houses here and the neighborhood started to grow.
Juan Maquiera heads up the Buenos Aires Housing Institute, where one of his biggest projects is well underway. Around 10% of the city's 2.8 million inhabitants lives in informal settlements known as villas. That's a lot of people living in subpar conditions. On top of that, these villas have next to no social link with the rest of the city. That's a big problem. One the Housing Institute is trying to solve. Backed by the government and other international institutions, Juan's ambitious goal is to upgrade the living conditions and connect the villas to other, more prosperous areas in the city. Is your job bringing the city to this neighborhood or bringing the people of this neighborhood to the city?
Both. Generally, with the villas or with the informal settlements, people believe in many cases, there's prejudice and they said, oh, they don't want to work, they don't have nothing to offer to the city, they're just living in public land. We believe the opposite. Right. They have a lot of creativity, a lot of energy, a lot of ideas, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring the city here and to connect the neighborhood to the city.
Has it always been like this in Buenos Aires, where the city has been eager to listen to the citizens and
no, not at all.
Address their needs?
I do believe that we have one of the most vanguardist approaches in the region for what we're doing in terms of integration. First of all, we call it integration. And we don't speak about urbanization because that only involves the works that you do with the buildings. But we also believe that there's a huge work to do with the people.
I love, as we walk through this neighborhood, somebody selling SIM cards.
Yes.
And then there's all of a sudden just a little sign in the window saying, we sell ice.
Here you have, for example, people selling DVDs and
beer.
Beer, for sure. There's going to be a lot of places selling beef, also for sure.
Yeah, ice and beer
you have,
right there.
Great places to buy fruits, too. We have to make everyone be able to live in a house that has the same quality that any other house in the city. You may help a family and you may give them a good home, but if they live in a neighborhood that is disconnected from the rest of the city, you're still promoting segregation and inequality. That's why we build the whole infrastructure for all the services to be able to enter the new neighborhood. We open roads for the police and for everyone to be able to enter the neighborhood. We make sure that public transportation gets to the neighborhood, and that's a key thing. But we also work for people to be close to a hospital, for everyone in the neighborhood to be inside a school if they are between 3 years old and 18 years old. And we also work with different programs to promote employment here in the barrio.
Rodrigo Bueno is ideally located near the downtown core and right next to a tourist hotspot, the Reserva Ecológica. The city will build pedestrian pathways connecting the neighborhood to these more popular areas. A public market will be created. And, with a little luck, locals and tourists alike will discover Rodrigo Bueno's already well-established neighborhood restaurants in no time. Is this what you're building?
Yes. Almost half of the neighborhood is next to a little river that goes out to the Rio de la Plata, and there's a lot of risk of flooding. So all those houses, we have to demolish them. We're going to do that only after we have moved the people to these houses that we are building. We're building houses in buildings that have the same quality of construction that the rest of the city. We build them in sustainable ways.
What else is going to happen with the cool old school neighborhood here?
The houses that are going to stay here, we're going to improve them. We believe in preserving the identity of the neighborhood. That's why it's very, very important for these houses to keep their own identity, because this was built by the neighbors, and we want to respect that, and we want to preserve that.
The small streets. Are you going to try and preserve that as well? Like,
yes.
This is a car-free community, which is like really kind of cool
Exactly.
these days, right?
I mean, the only place where cars are going to be allowed to circulate freely is this road that we are walking now. The road, the little path that we walked before, it's going to be preserved.
Where did it start? Was this the first villa that the city started to tackle?
This was one of the 4 that the government started working on. Rodrigo Bueno, Villa 20, Fraga, and also Villa 31. But nowadays, we also have works in many others. Ramón Carrillo, 1114. Also, we are relocating a lot of people that are living next to the Riachuelo.
I think a lot of cities around the world would start with one villa and see how it went and, you know, sort of baby step the whole process and whatnot. It seems like you're kind of just like all in. The urban integration project impacts more than 100,000 citizens. That's roughly a third of the population living in these villas. That's not bad at all, compared to the integration programs I've seen in many other cities around the world. But what makes this project so unique is how it gets residents involved from the get-go and keeps them involved each and every step of the way.
We are not designing everything in a desk and then throwing it to a neighborhood. We're involving the community in the decision-making, in the designing of the process, and I think that gives it a lot of legitimacy.
Not big enough for you? Well, check this out. The municipality has built 3,000 new units of affordable housing and is renovating thousands of older structures. Juan and his team are implementing new policies to regulate rents across the city. Buenos Aires is dealing with major income inequality, and no one understands that better than the people working to fix the housing problem.
Cities are not buildings, cities are not government officials taking decisions. Cities are people. People make cities. This neighborhood was made by the people, so what we have to do from the government is to help them, to give more power to them, for them to be able to build the city.
I love my green spaces. Who doesn't? Well, except maybe Buenos Aires. Because in short, this city ranks second to last in green space per capita amongst Latin America's major cities. And that is not good.
People feel better in a green space. Probably they don't ask why, but it's because they are like in their natural environment, which is not this, is like nature.
Biologist Matthias Pandolfi understands how animals behave in their natural habitat. But he decided to study how humans behave in their urban habitats. And his findings aren't surprising. Humans need nature just as much as the animal kingdom does, especially in cities.
We have an official number which says that Buenos Aires has 6 square meters per habitant. For me, it's not true. I analyzed the numbers that they bring, and I saw that they count things like these trees, that this is not a green space, it's an urban tree.
Yeah.
They count playgrounds, they count private gardens, they count flower spots. Also, they count squares that are cement squares without plants.
Yeah.
So the number is very overestimated.
What is the actual number, do you think, in all of Buenos Aires?
I think we are it's something like 3 or 4 square meters per habitant.
Right. There is an inequality between the wealthy areas and the poor?
Yes, if you see a map, you will see a huge green spot in the north of the city, Palermo, all the touristic zone of Buenos Aires. That's why people came here and say, no, everything is very green. I stay there and I visit Palermo's lakes and Recoleta. Yes, there you have. But if you go inside the city, it will be very small pots. We are now located in Caballito, which is the heart of the city of Buenos Aires. We're really in the center of the city. And here we don't have 6 square meters per habitant, we have 1.5. The problem was that we have a lot of military governments, and military governments all the time try to reduce green spaces because they say that the resistance will be hiding in the woods. So they made cement in the woods or in the squares.
National government involvement in urban planning is often baffling. I'd almost like to demand an explanation here. Matthias's research is the proof of the positive impacts of green spaces on the well-being of citizens and the social fabric of a city. And the government, well, it's completely ignoring that evidence. On top of that, the real estate market is making matters worse. Developers are buying up land to build, surprise, surprise, more shopping malls and condos. Really? Anyone?
We are going to meet a group of neighbors that are fighting for getting new green spaces here in Caballito. Carlos.
Hey, hello.
Carlos is Michael.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine.
Carlos and a few of his neighbors formed Encuentro to protest against the construction of yet another mall on this huge abandoned rail yard. Their goal? To force the government to convert the land, all 23 hectares of it, into a public park. The area is under constant threat of new construction, but Encuentro isn't backing down. And now, they've got an entourage, a full network of activists fighting for green space across the city, gathered here today for a peaceful protest. Oh, and a barbecue.
This is the area, the right way.
Yeah.
And we are Estación de los Deseos.
All right, so we're like
in
right
this
here.
point.
Yeah, right
Yes.
there. Okay. How long has this space been empty?
For about 50 years.
50 years.
Yes, because when they changed the locomotives from vapor to electric, they stopped with the work in this area. But 20 years ago, the neighbors began to take conscience of that it's possible to create some green area for the neighbor. So the idea is to put some area for arts and skate for the child.
To be clear, Encuentro isn't asking anyone to do the work for them. They've actually hired their own architect to design the park, and they do all of the advocacy legwork themselves. The land is technically federally owned, yes, but the city can decide how to use it. And that means the citizens should have the first and final say. So how close are you to this being a reality? Where are you in the fight?
Well, we are fighting for many years. So 8 years ago, it was created a group of neighbors because the mayor want to put here a shopping center at 2 big buildings because it's a very expensive area.
Yeah.
But they need a special law. So 5 times they send the law to the city hall, and we, the neighbors, were fighting and talking with the deputies of opposition, and we can stop the project. But the problem is that the enemy, in a certain way, is very strong, because in this moment, never in the history of Argentina, we have in the same hands, political hands, the nation, the city, the province, the media, and the economical groups.
So they are all in one political group?
Yes, and the economical groups want to build more and sell expensive apartments, and we need the green areas.
This is one project. You have
Yeah.
your vision for the project.
Yeah.
I mean, is this a long battle?
It's endless. There are many areas in the hands of the city hall, and every time they want to do in one of these parts something wrong, in our opinion, we will fight.
Encuentro's park project is patiently awaiting approval. But their success rate when it comes to halting construction has inspired other activists to join the fight for more green space. Pushing for more parks in a city that so desperately needs them can take years. But if you're a porteño, you don't sit around and wait for anyone to line your streets with trees. you plant them yourself.
How you doing? Good to see you.
It's good to see you, Michael.
Hey.
We all need more green spaces, and there are empty spaces where you can plant a tree. We found out that there were 4 empty spaces per street.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we said, come on, there's a need for trees. There are empty spaces. The government is not doing it. Hey, let's do it ourselves.
Most initiatives I've seen in Buenos Aires started with a group of friends and a good idea. Un árbol para mi vereda, a tree for my sidewalk, is no different. What started off with planting trees at home and sharing seeds at parties is slowly growing into a small-scale forest right in the heart of the city.
Here we have all native trees, more than 42 species. In Argentina, especially in Buenos Aires, we have just 1% of native trees. The rest of the trees came from other parts of the world. It was lost, this knowledge, and we are like taking it back to the present days. Here we have like one of the biggest and most cultural popular tree that is called omu. It's very nice for shadow and for kids playing. It's like a natural playground, for example.
We are planting with the government around 8,000 trees a year, and with our independent projects, something like 5,000 trees a year.
Of course, the government only became interested in Rodrigo and Lisandro's work after they'd had such a big impact on their community. Then the city hired them for more. But this hasn't stopped them from pursuing their independent projects to plant more trees. And more trees equals, you guessed it, more green space. It's an inspiring win-win approach.
It's important for us to have one foot inside of the system. If we want to change something and if we want to work at bigger scale projects, well, it's good to be here and have a dialogue, communicate with the city.
Can you still criticize them if they're not following what you think they should do?
Yeah, we come to work here, we work with business, and we continue doing our activist work. And we try to manage all that because we believe in the power of the plants and in the power of the seeds and how that can create a change inside of us first, and that then with our friends, families, and neighbors.
You can grab this one.
All right.
Good.
We're headed to Parque Avellaneda, a very low-income neighborhood in major need of some serious greening. This is one of the organization's noble side projects.
This is the forest that we are creating with this neighborhood. And this space is the only green space that this neighborhood has, right next to the highway.
Each tree corresponds to one neighbor,
Okay.
so each person comes to water. That's why every tree we plant is growing and we have no dead trees.
All right, yeah. So everybody has a responsibility.
Exactly.
All right.
Having the neighbors willing and able to take care of them. When you have that, you can plant. Like here, no?
Yeah, here.
A Tree for My Sidewalk has worked with schools, activist groups, and even private companies to create patches of green all over the city. No matter your background or political leaning, rich, poor, left, right, yeah, planting trees is something everybody can get behind.
Voila. A new tree for the world. Muy bien. Un aplauso, chicos. The way trees work in nature is also the way trees can work in the community as community developers. They attract birds, they attract butterflies, but they also produce shade. So people can gather, have a football game, drink a mate or a cold mate called tereré. Look at that.
Yeah.
The butterflies are coming as we plant the native species.
Every time we make a plantation, everybody puts a seed in a tiny pot, and each person grow it. They take care for that tree in their house.
I will do it here. Yeah, thanks.
It's like self-service.
Yeah, right.
Self-service, yeah, but with major benefits. A year after helping themselves to some seeds, Caro and Alfonso have fully grown saplings in their apartment. They're now ready to be out in the world, and I get to help plant one.
Right, I'll take it.
Go ahead,
I'll
Michael.
do my...
Pum, pum, pum.
Go.
So, My guess is that this was a bigger space for an old tree that probably died. And thanks God, Alfonso and Caro live around the corner and are growing trees for the people to enjoy the life. Oh, that's yours. And one, two, three, and welcome! Welcome in Argentina!
In every city I visit with the Life-Size City, many of the guests know each other. There's like a little network in all of these places. But there's always one person that everybody talks about and everybody knows. And I'm going to meet the one here in Buenos Aires.
Toc, 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 cielo!
Hi, Carolina. Hi.
How are you? The invitation was, come and play in the street. It was just that. We didn't say anything else. We didn't promote anything. And all this amount of kids and parents came.
As an architect and founder of the urban consulting team Urbanismo Vivo, Carolina wants citizens to claim the city as their home and not just as a backdrop to their working lives. She's making it happen by connecting citizens with their urban environment in playful and very tangible ways. What is the general response?
No one has complained. Like neighbors here, many don't have kids, and despite that, they put the cars somewhere else for us to make this urban living. Some people just go through the crosswalk and they're like, oh, this is so arty, this is so nice, this is so different. We really needed a crosswalk. Like there's no crosswalks in all the
Like up there?
corner. Yeah.
Okay, on the corner. Okay, let's go
Let
look.
me show you. There's none in all the 4 blocks, in all the 4 crosswalks. In this block, they always do these block parties, and we wanted to do like a new entrance to this space, but it also worked as a crosswalk.
Right. Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
This whole play with the kids, it's a huge treasure hunt.
Oh, right, okay.
So they are looking for the treasure all with these clues, and these clues give a map, so they just arrange the map.
Oh, and the decibels just increased, so I think
because
they maybe
the treasure
found it.
is very close. The whole thing about this treasure hunt, actually it's not obviously the treasure hunt, it's for the kids to play in the street. We have a huge history of kids playing in the street and the parents just living in the front door. This has been lost, and the idea is to resignify the concept of street, not only for cars, not only for transport or for transitions, but for a place to be.
Carolina's idea for getting families together is a long-term plan for the community. Give kids a reason to play outside, throw in some food and drinks, and you've got yourself a life-sized block party. Who wouldn't want to join in? What else do you do with kids?
We do walks with kids, and we do different activities in the walks that have to do with connecting with the city, but also being able to walk on their own and being able to understand the kind of the responsibility they have as pedestrians, but also as citizens, and to be able to show also their parents that their kids can walk 2-hour walks. It's just that they have to be entertained, and they have to understand the pace the kids go. It's not the same velocity that we walk. So it goes both ways. It's a sort of for the kids, but for the parents to get the kids.
Right.
And we make a lot of activities for them to connect and to play with the city. We make them think in what they want and what they like and what they dislike and what do they need. And they start saying like, we need light. So how many lights are in this block? Like, do you think it's enough? Like, do we need trees? Yes. Why? Because of the shade. And they start like answering all these things that we need and that we don't need. And we start counting them on the streets. This concept of thinking, how are we occupying the streets? What do we privilege over what things? And what do we want?
What about the city at large? I mean, how do you tackle something on that scale?
Because this city, it is taken as a reference for other cities in Argentina, then we should really like step up the game in participation, in community involvement, and in make it a more equal city. ¿Intentan escucharlo? Vamos.
¿Nos sentamos? ¿Nos sentamos?
Siéntense todos a escuchar el mensaje. A ver, ¿qué dice ese tesoro?
Se le entregará una piedra de poder a cada niño que encuentre este tesoro y le dará fuerza para volver a conquistar la calle, llenarla nuevamente de juegos y de color.
Muy buena.
Informal settlements, like the Vishas here in Buenos Aires, really embody what cities are about for me. Building your own urban environment and working with your community out of necessity, with perseverance and protest. It's nothing short of inspiring. And that's reason enough to add this unique place to my map.
The urban citizens of Buenos Aires have been raging against the machine for generations. A lesser population would have given up years ago. I've come to love the rebellious spirit of the porteños. They're unstoppable. They're tireless. And it's wild to be in a place where going out onto the streets and protesting is hardwired into the DNA of the people here. What I've learned from them is simple. Be proud, be rebellious, be a community, and persist. Above all, persist, no matter what.